Stop everything right now. A massive snowstorm is already hitting Chicago and Milwaukee as I speak to you, and it's racing toward the East Coast. This is happening right now. Not a forecast, not a prediction. This is reality unfolding in real time across the Midwest. It's December 31st, 2025, New Year's Eve, and what I'm about to show you will completely change your New Year's Day travel plans. Because this isn't just one storm. We're tracking 3 separate winter disasters that will impact 50 million Americans. The emergency managers in 6 states are already mobilizing resources, and here's what should absolutely terrify you. This current storm, it's just the opening act. What's building behind it is the most dangerous winter weather pattern I've analyzed in over a decade. We're going to break down exactly which cities are getting buried tonight, why airports are already canceling flights, and the East Coast bomb cyclone that could shut down New York, Boston, and Washington, D.C. within 24 hours. But because the atmospheric pattern setting up could deliver the most epic winter weather siege we've witnessed since the 1990s. Before I show you these terrifying developments, drop your city in the comments right now, because what I'm about to reveal will determine whether you're in the danger zone or safe zone for New Year's Day travel. Let's start with the crisis that's unfolding right now across the Midwest, where people are already getting trapped in their cars. Here's the live radar, and this is absolutely wild. Heavy snow is pounding Wisconsin right now. We're talking 2 to 3 inches per hour snowfall rates that are making travel impossible. Milwaukee County has just declared a snow emergency. Chicago O'Hare has canceled over 400 flights in the past 2 hours. And Michigan's Upper Peninsula is getting absolutely demolished. We're seeing thunder snow, which creates the most dangerous driving conditions possible. When you have thunder snow, visibility drops to 0 in seconds, and that's when people get stranded and emergency crews can't reach them. But here's what makes this current storm so explosively dangerous. It's what meteorologists call a bomb cyclone. The pressure is dropping so rapidly that this storm is literally strengthening as it moves across the Great Lakes. By 3 a.m. on New Year's Day, we're looking at blizzard conditions across western Michigan with sustained winds of 40 to 50 miles per hour. That creates life-threatening whiteout conditions. And if you're thinking about traveling tonight for New Year's Eve celebrations, don't. Interstate 94 from Chicago to Detroit is becoming a parking lot as cars get stuck in rapidly accumulating snow. State police are already conducting multiple rescues of motorists trapped in their vehicles on New Year's Eve. But wait until you see what's happening next, because this storm is about to trigger something even more dangerous. As this system moves east tomorrow morning, it's setting up lake-effect snow bands that could dump 3 to 4 feet of snow in narrow bands. Yes, you heard that right. Feet, not inches. The towns downwind of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario are about to get absolutely buried on New Year's Day. Buffalo, Syracuse, Watertown. You're in the bullseye for January 1st. But here's the part that should have you on the edge of your seat. This is only threat number 1. While the Midwest is dealing with this blizzard tonight, there's a second storm system organizing in the southern states that's about to become a monster. And when these two systems interact over the next 24 hours, we could see one of the most significant East Coast snowstorms in years. Let me show you exactly what I mean. By tomorrow evening, January 1st, low pressure will be developing across Texas and Louisiana. Now, normally this would just bring some rain to the Gulf Coast, but the atmospheric setup is anything but normal. That Arctic air that's currently freezing the Midwest, it's going to be positioned perfectly along the East Coast by Thursday, January 2nd. And that creates what we call a perfect storm scenario. Here's exactly what's going to happen. That southern energy will race northeast, encounter the Arctic air mass, and explode into a coastal bomb cyclone by Friday morning. We're talking about a storm that could bring 12 to 18 inches of snow to Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and Boston. But that's not the scariest part. The scariest part is the timing for the first weekend of January. This storm will peak during Friday's morning commute, January 3rd. Imagine 8 million people trying to get to work in New York City during a blizzard with 2 to 3 inches per hour snowfall rates. The subway system could shut down. Bridges and tunnels could close for the first work week of 2026. We're talking about complete transportation paralysis. And if you're flying anywhere this weekend, start making backup plans now. LaGuardia, JFK, Newark, Logan, all could be completely shut down Friday into Saturday. We could see over 3,000 flight cancellations along the eastern seaboard, stranding tens of thousands of passengers during the first weekend of the new year. But here's something that will shock you. Emergency managers are more worried about what happens after this storm, because the Arctic air that fuels this coastal storm doesn't just disappear. It settles in and creates dangerous, life-threatening cold for the second week of January. We're talking about wind chills of 20 to 30 degrees below zero. That's frostbite in 10 minutes or less. Power companies are already pre-positioning repair crews because when you combine heavy snow with extreme cold, power lines snap, transformers fail, and people lose heat during the most dangerous cold of the winter. But wait, there's more! And this is where things get absolutely insane because I'm getting new model data that shows threat number 3. And this one could affect 100 million Americans starting mid-January. Let me show you the January pattern that's developing, because what I'm seeing on the long-range models is something I haven't witnessed in over 15 years of forecasting. It's called a sudden stratospheric warming event. And when this happens, it's like someone turns off the heat for the entire northern hemisphere. Here's what's happening 30 miles above our heads right now. The polar vortex, that massive circulation of ultra-cold air over the North Pole, is being disrupted. And when that happens, all that Arctic air that's normally contained over the polar regions comes rushing south. We're talking about a pattern shift that could last for weeks. Starting around January 15th, multiple waves of Arctic air will crash into the United States. Each wave will be colder than the last, and each wave will set the stage for potentially massive snowstorms. By the third week of January, we could see temperatures 20 to 30 degrees below normal. That means highs in the single digits in New York, below zero in Chicago, and Atlanta, Nashville, Louisville could see their coldest temperatures in over a decade. But the really terrifying part is what happens when you combine this Arctic air with an active southern jet stream. And that's exactly what's setting up. The subtropical jet's going to become incredibly active. What that means is storm after storm developing in the Gulf of Mexico and racing northeastward into that Arctic air mass, creating explosive storm development. We could see 3, 4, maybe even 5 significant snowstorms during the month of January. And here's the kicker. Each storm could be stronger than the last because the temperature contrast will be so extreme. I'm talking about storms that could dump 2 to 3 feet of snow from Virginia to Maine. The kind of storms that shut down entire regions for days at a time. Now, I want to be very specific about what this means for different parts of the country starting this weekend and continuing through January, because this isn't going to affect everyone equally. If you live anywhere from Chicago east to Boston and from Atlanta north to Montreal, you need to start preparing now for what could be the most intense winter weather period in over a decade. Let me break this down city by city so you know exactly what to expect this weekend and beyond. Chicago, you're getting hit tonight with this current blizzard, then multiple additional storms in January with temperatures that could hit 20 below zero. The kind of cold that freezes pipes, shuts down schools for weeks. Detroit, Cleveland, Buffalo, lake effect snow is going to be relentless starting New Year's Day. We could see seasonal snow totals reached by the end of January. New York City, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. The Friday storm plus multiple nor'easters are likely in January. Each one could bring 12 to 24 inches of snow and shut down the I-95 corridor. Boston, Providence, Hartford, you're in the bullseye for the biggest storms starting this weekend. We could see individual storms dump 30-plus inches in parts of New England. And Here's what really concerns me about this pattern. It's not just about the snow. It's about the sustained nature of the cold starting this week. When you get pattern like this, the snow doesn't melt between storms. It just keeps building up, creating deeper and deeper snowpack through January. That leads to roof collapses, supply chain disruptions, grocery stores running out of food because delivery trucks can't get through, power grid failures because the demand for heating overwhelms the system. We could see rolling blackouts during the coldest temperatures of the winter. Now, I know this sounds terrifying, and honestly, it should concern you. But I don't want to scare you. I want to prepare you. So let me tell you exactly what you need to do to protect yourself and your family starting tonight. First, if you're traveling anywhere in the next 24 hours, have backup plans. This current storm will disrupt travel through January 2nd. Second, stock up on emergency supplies now, before everyone else realizes what's coming. We're talking about non-perishable food for at least 2 weeks. Water, batteries, flashlights, portable phone chargers. And most importantly, alternative heating sources in case you lose power. Third, winterize your home and vehicles immediately. Check your furnace, insulate pipes, get winter tires installed. Because once this pattern locks in, there won't be time for maintenance calls. Fourth, if you have elderly neighbors or relatives, check on them regularly starting this weekend. This kind of extreme cold is particularly dangerous for vulnerable populations. And finally, stay informed. Weather conditions will change rapidly over the next few days. What looks safe this morning could become life-threatening by this evening. Now, let me show you the specific timeline for when each threat hits over the next few weeks. Because timing is everything when it comes to preparation. Tonight through tomorrow morning, Midwest blizzard continues. Travel nearly impossible. January 2nd and 3rd, East Coast bomb cyclone develops and intensifies. January 4th and 5th, Arctic air floods the eastern United States. January 6th through 14th, dangerous cold with potential for additional storms. January 15th through 31st, the big pattern shift with multiple major storms likely. Each of these phases will bring its own challenges and dangers starting this New Year's Eve. But if you prepare now, you can weather this historic pattern safely. Now I want to address something that some of you might be thinking. Is this really going to be as bad as you're saying? And look, I've been forecasting weather for over 15 years. I've seen patterns that look scary on paper but fizzled out in reality. But I've also seen patterns that exceeded even the most dire predictions. This one has all the characteristics of the latter. The atmospheric setup is textbook perfect for sustained winter weather. Multiple computer models are showing consistent signals. And we're already seeing the first storm behaving exactly as predicted tonight. When everything aligns like this, you have to take it seriously. The worst case scenario is that I'm right and you're not prepared. The best case scenario is that I'm wrong and you have extra supplies. I'd rather be over-prepared than caught off guard. And here's something else that should convince you to take this seriously. Emergency management agencies are already positioning resources for this weekend. FEMA has pre-deployed assets to multiple states. The National Guard is on standby in 6 states for potential weekend operations. Power companies have mutual aid agreements activated. When the professionals are this concerned about New Year's weekend, you should be too. Now let me paint a picture of what success looks like. Imagine being snug and warm in your home while the wind howls outside this weekend. You have plenty of food, your phones are charged, you have backup heat, you're watching the snow pile up outside your window on New Year's Day. But you're not worried because you prepared, you planned, you took this forecast seriously. That's the difference between being a victim of winter weather and being ready for it. And honestly, there's something beautiful about being prepared for nature's fury. It connects you to the power of the atmosphere in a way that few experiences can. Winter storms are dangerous, yes, but they're also awe-inspiring. The kind of meteorological events that remind us how small we are, but also how resilient we can be when we work together and prepare properly. So as we head into this potentially historic winter weather pattern starting tonight, I want you to approach it with respect but not fear. Preparation but not panic. This could be the winter weather event that defines the 2020s. The pattern that people will reference for years to come. And if you're prepared, if you've taken the right steps, you'll be able to safely witness one of nature's most powerful displays starting this New Year's Eve. Before I wrap up, I want to make sure you stay connected throughout this event. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel and hit that notification bell, because I'll be providing daily updates as this pattern unfolds over the next few weeks. Storm-specific forecasts, timing updates, safety information. Everything you need to stay safe and informed through the new year and beyond. Leave a comment below with your location and any specific questions about this weekend's weather. I'll do my best to address as many as possible in tomorrow's New Year's Day update video. Share this video with friends and family who might be affected by tonight's storm, because the more people who are prepared, the safer everyone will be. Follow me on social media for real-time updates between videos. Links are in the description and pinned in the comments. And remember, this isn't just about surviving this winter. It's about being prepared for whatever weather comes our way. Climate patterns are changing. Weather is becoming more extreme. The skills and supplies you gather for this event will serve you well in the future. So thank you for trusting me with your weather information on this New Year's Eve. Thank you for taking preparation seriously. And thank you for being part of a community that looks out for each other. Stay safe, stay warm, stay informed through this historic New Year's weekend. This is going to be a winner for the history books, and I'll be here with you every step of the way. The pieces are falling into place. The pattern is locked in. January 2026 is going to be legendary. Get ready. Happy New Year and stay safe out there.